Can you all see me nicely? Okay. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु पहले थोड़ा हिंदी में बोल दो। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु जी ने कहा, नाम नाम अकारी बहुधा निज सर्व शक्ति, न धनम न जनम न सुंदरिम कविता व जगदीश कामये मम जन्म ने जन्म निमेश्वरी भगवद भक्तिर अहेतुकी त्वयि। महाप्रभु जी कह रहे हैं, एक साधक को किस प्रकार से हरिनाम करते समय उसको क्या भावना रखनी चाहिए और क्या प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए। तो महाप्रभु जी हमको शिक्षा दे रहे हैं। महाप्रभु जी तो स्वयं श्री कृष्ण हैं, लेकिन भक्त भाव अंगीकार करके हम साधकों को एक शिक्षा दे रहे हैं कि किस प्रकार से हमको नाम करते समय क्या भावना रखनी चाहिए, क्या मांगना चाहिए भगवान से। तो महाप्रभु जी कह रहे हैं, क्या कहते हैं, ना धनम, अरे तुम किस लिए मेरा नाम कर रहे हो, धन चाहिए? या फिर साधक किस लिए नाम करेगा, धन के लिए? बोलते नहीं, ना धनम ना जनम ना सुंदरिम कविता व जगदीश कामये। हे जगदीश, जगदीश मतलब सारे जगत के ईश्वर। क्यों जगदीश कह रहे हैं? क्योंकि भगवान सारी इच्छाओं को पूर्ण करने वाले हैं। अकाम सर्व कामो वा मोक्ष काम उदारहि तीव्रेन भक्ति योगेन यजन्ति पुरुषम परम। जो कोई कामना लेकर भगवान के पास आए या निष्काम भावना से भगवान के पास आए या फिर मुक्ति की कामना लेकर भी भगवान के पास आए, भगवान उनकी समस्त इच्छाओं को पूर्ण करते हैं। भगवान मतलब जगदीश, सारे जगत के जो ईश हैं, जो ईश्वर हैं। कोई ऐसा कार्य नहीं है जो भगवान पूर्ण नहीं कर सकते। सबकी मनोकामना, सबकी इच्छा पूर्ण कर सकते हैं। लेकिन जो हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का जप करते हैं, जो भक्ति करना चाहते हैं, वे भगवान से क्या मांगते हैं, ये बात यहाँ पर समझने वाली है। बोलते हैं, हे भगवान, मुझको धन नहीं चाहिए, मैं इसलिए आपका नाम नहीं कर रहा। मुझको बहुत सारे लोग, मेरे पीछे घूमने वाले, मेरे शिष्य, ये सब नहीं चाहिए। और मैं बड़ी सुंदर सुंदर कथाएं बोलूं और सबका मन को रिझाऊं, मेरे को ये भी नहीं चाहिए। तो फिर तुमको क्या चाहिए? किस लिए तू मेरा नाम कर रहा है? किस लिए तू मेरी भक्ति कर रहा है? किस लिए तू मेरी ओर आ रहा है? किस लिए तू मुझसे प्रेम करना चाहता है? तुम कारण तो बतलाओ। तो बता रहे हैं, मम जन्मनि जन्मनेश्वरी भगवद भक्तिर अहेतुकी त्वयि। मुझे बस आप जन्म जन्म तक आपके श्री चरणों की भक्ति प्रदान करें। कौन सी भक्ति? बोलते हैं अहेतुकी भक्ति, जिस भक्ति में कोई हेतु नहीं है, कोई कारण ना हो कि किसी कारण से मैं आपकी भक्ति कर रहा हूँ। अहेतुकी भक्ति त्वयि, ये मैं आपसे प्रार्थना करता हूँ। हाँ, तो इसलिए ये साधकों के लिए बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण एक शिक्षा महाप्रभु जी दे रहे हैं। अब हम विचार करें, क्या सच में हम भगवान की भक्ति के लिए नाम जप कर रहे हैं? हमने भगवान के नामों का आश्रय लिया भक्ति के लिए, ना कोई और कारण भी है? विचार, अपने मन को टटोल कर देखो। और कहीं ना कहीं ये बात आ ही जाती है, हाँ थोड़ा सा धन तो चाहिए होता है, थोड़े से लोग तो प्रशंसा करने वाले चाहिए होते हैं, नहीं तो उत्साह कैसे आएगा। थोड़ा सा अपना प्रभाव तो दिखाना ही पड़ता, नहीं तो समाज में मेरे को मानेगा कौन। लेकिन ये सारी जितनी भी वस्तु हैं, ये सब गौण है, ये भक्ति नहीं है। हमेशा अपने मन में एक ही भावना रखनी चाहिए, क्या भावना रखनी चाहिए? मेरे को अपनी अहेतु की भक्ति प्रदान करो, जिस भक्ति में हेतु ना हो। ये बात सदैव, हाँ, अपने हृदय में रखनी चाहिए, अपने मन में रखनी चाहिए। बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण बात है ये, अहेतु की भक्ति। हाँ, आपसे मेरा संबंध जुड़ जाएगा, आप भगवान है तो मेरी सारी इच्छाएं पूरी हो जाएंगी। जैसे शिव जी के संबंध में कहा, इंग्लिश व्हाट इज, आई एम कमिंग बैक टू यू, जस्ट 1 मिनट। जैसे भागवत जी में शिव जी के संबंध में कहा, क्या कह रहे हैं? अ, अ, देव असुर मनुष्येषु जे भायन नातु लक्ष्मी पते हरे। बड़ी मजेदार बात कही। परीक्षित महाराज प्रश्न कर रहे हैं, बोलते हैं भगवान जो लक्ष्मीपति हैं, कितने ऐश्वर्य में रहते हैं, लक्ष्मी जी साथ में रहती है, चरण दबाए। संसार के लोग तो लक्ष्मी जी के चरण दबाने के लिए ललायत रहते हैं, इसलिए लक्ष्मी जी की पूजा करते हैं दिवाली पर, कि लक्ष्मी जी की सेवा मिल जाए, क्योंकि लक्ष्मी लक्ष्मी आ जाएगी। लेकिन वो लक्ष्मी किसके चरण दबाती है? साक्षात भगवान के चरण दबाती है। तो भगवान लक्ष्मीपति हैं। लेकिन जो भगवान का भजन करता है, वो तो फक्कड़ बाबा हो जाता है, उसको तो कुछ नहीं मिलता। वो तो वृंदावन में जाता है और राधे राधे बोलकर डोलता है, खाने को कुछ नहीं, माधुकरी करता है। लेकिन जो शिव जी की पूजा करते हैं, हाँ, अब ये बात समझने वाली है। जो शिव जी की पूजा करते हैं, जो स्वयं फक्कड़ बाबा हैं, जिनके पास कुछ भी नहीं, घर भी रहने को नहीं, जो उनकी पूजा करते हैं, वो तो बड़े बड़े धनवान, हाँ, बड़े बड़े जहाज उनके पास हैं, गाड़ियां उनके पास है, सोना चांदी उनके पास है। ये बात समझ नहीं आई कि जो शिव जी, जिनका तो अपना भी कोई घर नहीं है, शिव जी से पूछो, शिव जी आप कहाँ वास करते हो, आपका एड्रेस क्या है? हाँ, कौन से एड्रेस पे पहुंचे? बोले कैलाश पर। अरे कैलाश तो बहुत बड़ा है, कोई होम नंबर, कोई हाउस नंबर? बोलते हैं, घर ही नहीं है तो हाउस नंबर क्या? हाँ, चोटी पर बैठते हैं हम पहाड़ की, वहीं पर साधन करते हैं, और वहीं पर भगवान का नाम करते हैं। तो अपना तो घर तक नहीं है, लेकिन जो उनकी उपासना करे उनको तो माला माल कर दे। और दूसरी ओर जो लक्ष्मीपति नारायण है, उनकी कोई पूजा करे, तो वो तो बड़े ऐश्वर्य उस महलों में रहे, लक्ष्मी जी चरण दबाएं, लेकिन उनका जो भजन करे, वो तो वृंदावन में राधे राधे डोल, है ना, राधे बोल वृंदावन में डोल, तो राधे राधे करके बस पक्कड़ बाबा बन जाता है। ये बात समझ नहीं आई, तो इसको समझो क्या सुखदेव गोस्वामी जी कह रहे हैं। बोलते हैं जो शिव जी की उपासना करता है, किस भावना से, कि ये स्वतंत्र ईश्वर है, इनसे सारी मनोकामना पूर्ण करवा लेंगे। वो तीनों गुणों के अंदर रहते हैं, सत्वगुण, रजोगुण और तमोगुण। लेकिन जो भगवान की पूजा करते हैं, भगवान क्या है? निर्गुण है, तीनों गुणों से परे हैं। जो भगवान की पूजा करते हैं, उनको क्या मिलता है? हाँ, निर्गुण स्थिति प्राप्त होती है, कोई कष्ट कलेश उनको परेशान नहीं कर पाता। ये इसका अंतर है। अब मैं थोड़ा सा इंग्लिश में बोल दूं, नहीं तो बेचारे लोग सोचेंगे मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ। सो at least we got good connection today in the car, so we had our japa session and some little hari katha. I have another 1 more hour drive to a place where we are going to have a retreat from today for 7 days. I was saying, Mahaprabhu ji gave advice to sadhakas. What should be the mood and what should be the prayers in the heart when a sadhaka is chanting Harinam? Mahaprabhu ji is Bhagwan, is Chaitanya Dev, is Ishwar, but he is showing by his own example Then when you're chanting Harinam, what should be the desires in your heart? Hmm. The question arises: is that supposed to? Are we supposed to have desire in the heart? Yes. Not devoid of any desire. There should be some desire. Oh, what should be the desire? And what should not be the desire? So Mahaprabhu is teaching us. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavita vajagadish kame. Hey Bhagwan, oh Krishna, I'm not chanting and serving you to get some wealth from you, to get some followers from you, to get name and fame in the society. I don't want any of these things. Then Krishna asked, why you running after me? What do you want from me? Why you chant my name? Why you chant my mantras? Why you practice? Birth after birth. Give me your ahetuki bhakti, unconditional devotional practice. Unconditional bhakti, not with condition. The bhakti should be unconditional. In whatever situation you want to keep me, I am ready to accept every circumstance. Satyanukampa susprikshmanu munjan evat kritam vipaka. Brahmaji is praying. Hmm. Oh Prabhu, Satyanukampa, this is your special mercy and compassion that you keeping me in whatever circumstance you want. I will accept all those circumstances as your blessings, no matter if it is favorable or unfavorable. I'm not anyone to blame you for that. My own karmas, my own activities is responsible for what I am going through now. Understand? So, mom, I want birth after birth. I had to keep bhakti toi. Unconditional bhakti at your lotus feet without any condition. So, we should have this desire. Yes, because Krishna wants to know why you doing all these things for me. He also want to know this. As Bhagavatam says, akamo sarvakamo moksha kam udharihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajanti purusham param. Anyone with desire, anyone without desire, or anyone who desiring liberation, I fulfill all their desires. Because I am Bhagwan, I fulfill everyone's desires. So the question is, shall we keep any desires while we chant? Yes. We are not like those fanatic or jnanis who says there should not be any desire. Yes, there have to be desire. And this is what been taught by Mahaprabhu, this kind of desire. हाँ, ये वाली कामना, this desire, tukhi toi, give me, grant me that bhakti which is unconditional. Otherwise, one get always entangled with three modes of nature. And desire comes from these three modes of nature. The question was being asked in Srimad Bhagavatam by Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj asked this question. Dev asur munisheshu je bhajantim suram asuram praya dhanino bhoja natu lakshmi patim harim. This is so astonishing, so surprising. Those who worship Narayan, Narayan means Supreme Lord with all opulence, and Lakshmi, lotus feet of Lord Narayan. Everyone want to get Lakshmi. Everyone want to serve Lakshmi. Everyone want money, right? But imagine the Lakshmi is massaging the feet of Narayan. But worship Narayan. They all become beggars in the street and they renounce everything. They go Vrindavan and chant Radhe 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 Radhe. राधे बोल राधे बोल वृंदावन में गलियन में राधे राधे बोल राधे. हाँ, sadhaka goes to Vrindavan and bus do madhukari, begging here and there, surviving somehow, and day and night chanting Radhe Radhe. Those who worship Krishna, Narayan, they become beggars. But those who worship Shiva, they become very rich and wealthy person. Very astonishing. And Shiva, he has no house. He has no home address. If we ask, oh Mahadev, oh Shivaji, what is your home address if I want to see you and have your darshan? Say, my home address, Kailash. Kailash Hills. That's my address. Oh, yeah, but that's mountain. But where exactly in Kailash? That is only my residence. I don't have any home address. He don't even have his house. He's not wearing fancy clothes. He's not even having any ornaments on his body. Yeah. Stay like a poor person. But those who worship him, what they get? They become opulent. They get all these fancy cars. They get big houses. They get good business. But those who worship Narayan, who have all opulence, they become beggar. Very opposite. Why it is like that? Yes. Then Shukdev Goswami giving answer. So wonderful answer. Those who worship Mahadev, they get entangled in the three modes of nature. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And being in these three modes of nature, they, even though they get opulence, but they get entangled in that opulence and the sufferings of this world. They can't go beyond these three modes of nature. Whereas those who worship Narayan, what happens? Narayan means Krishna takes away all their wealth. No need to worry, okay? After hearing this, maybe you say, oh, I did a mistake by worshipping Krishna. Oh, I'm not supposed to do this. Yeah, he will take all my wealth away, then I will become beggar. Yes. What is the meaning of this? There's something very high philosophy behind this. Hmm. Those who worship Krishna, he is beyond three modes of nature. So anyone who worship Krishna transgress all modes of nature and get established in Nirgun state. Nirgun state means beyond three modes of nature. The entanglement in the material world get destroyed, get finished, and person becomes pure. Even demigods, they can't transgress these three modes of nature. Even demons, they cannot. Even human beings cannot. Only those who ye yatha mam pravadante tam sathe bhajamiham. Those who worship Krishna, they can do this. So, shall we keep any desire in our heart when we serve Krishna? Of course. Of course. You'll find many philosophies in the world where they preach there should not be any desire. That's true. We also say there should not be any desire, means we should not have any material desire. But shall we, our heart, void of any desire? No, there should be desire. What is that? प्रेम धन बिना व्यर्थ दरिद्र जीवन, दास कोरी वेतन मोर देह प्रेम धन. Oh Krishna, I'm serving you so much. I want something from you. What do you want? Oh, I want what? Give me a salary. Every month I want salary from you. Huh? Salary? You serving me with some, you want some salary? Yes. What is that salary? Das Kori Vetan More Deha Prem Dhan. Give me the salary of Prem Dhan, the wealth of your Prem, your loving service. This is salary I want. Then Krishna, oh, I was scared. I don't know what you're going to ask me. You want Prem Dhan? Yes. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he approached Krishna, and Yudhishthir Maharaj said, Krishna, I want something from you. I have some desires. Krishna is wondering, huh? Yudhishthir never asked, brother Yudhishthir, never ask anything from me. What is now? He said, okay, what do you want? Let me know. Yudhishthir Maharaj said, I want to become the king of entire planet, Chakravarti Samrat. I want to become king of the whole planet Earth. And there's more desires. I want my brothers to always be submissive to me. I become their controller. And I want my wife Draupadi always render loving services to me, no matter what happens. And she always be submissive to me. Okay. What else? And so many things he asked. Now Krishna is thinking, my devotee never asked anything from me. I never expected Yudhishthir wants to become king of the whole planet. And is asking so many things. Why? So Krishna said, Yudhishthir, if you don't mind, can you tell me why you want all these things? Yudhishthir Maharaj said, yes, I tell you. Because everyone thinks that those who worship you, they all become beggars. There's a rumor going on around the world amongst demigods and amongst everyone. So that's why many people feel reluctant to worship you. That if we worship Krishna, we become beggars. They feel reluctant. So I want to establish this, that it's not like that. Those who worship Krishna, they also become opulent like kings. Like Dhruv Maharaj, he, he got, he ruled over the whole planet for 36,000 years. And then he got one planet, Dhruva Loka, like Prahlad Maharaj. Narsimha Bhagwan made Prahlad Maharaj the king of all the demons. And he ruled over all the demons. Bali Maharaj, he got Sutal Lok, the lowly planetary system. He became the king of that. Sugriv became the king of the monkeys. Shri Bhagwan Shri Ram, he put tilak, coronated, uh, performed coronation ceremony of Vibhishan, made him king of the whole Lanka. You see, so many examples are there. And Yudhishthir Maharaj became the king of the whole planet. Ambarish Maharaj, king of the whole planet. Bharat Maharaj, king of the whole planet in different times. And they were all worshipping Krishna. So that's a bad rumor that those who worship Krishna, they become beggars. No. Krishna knows how to treat and how to give a good treatment. He knows. If I give him wealth, he will be spoiled. So he takes the wealth away. But when Krishna thinks anyone need wealth for my service, for my preaching, then Krishna supply all wealth. Understand? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, after his Guru Vargas departed, he became so sad. Day and night he was chanting. And after performing this great yajna of chanting billion of Harinam every day, Mahaprabhu appeared and he said, I didn't send you for chanting. I send you here for preaching. So Prabhupada, with so humble mood, said, how can I preach, Mahaprabhu? For preaching, we need man and we need money. And Mahaprabhu, what he said to Prabhupada? Mahaprabhu said, I will supply my man and I will supply money. Don't worry. I will supply this money to you. And Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur has no penny. And so wide, extensively preaching everywhere that he established 64 centers only in one country, India. 64 centers. Big centers. So many of his followers. Who sent to him? Mahaprabhu sent him. For what? For his service. So that's the sweet desire of Krishna. He wants to snatch money because this is compassion. He wants to give money. This is also compassion. But with our limited understanding, we think, oh, Krishna took my wealth away. Krishna made me beggar. Krishna made me so poor. How I can believe Krishna is compassionate and merciful? But some other person got so much wealth. He won a lottery or he won a something, big house, etc. And Krishna is more compassionate. No, that's not the consideration. That should not be the consideration. Krishna knows very well, like in one house, there is mother and two children. Oh, mother knows very well what to give to my child. Hmm. For, for the auspiciousness of the child. Similarly, Krishna knows very well to whom to give money with the belief that my all giving money to that person will be utilized only in my service, not for sense gratification. And wherever he wants to take money back from that person, make them poor. I heard so many examples like that. Many people got so much money, devotees, and some devotees taken away money by Krishna. And in both situations, Tatyanukampa Susmikshamanu. Oh Krishna, you are very compassionate to me. I know what you're doing. You're doing for my welfare. We have to seek that welfare in every activity, no matter if it is favorable or unfavorable. Special mercy. When it becomes unfavorable, then it is special compassion. The whole world reject that person. The person get bad name, defamed everywhere. No one likes to host that person. He's not a good person. We don't obligations. Then a person has no obligations, is not obliged to anyone, is just by himself and Krishna. Yes. Day and night he cry, he chant, and he only one shelter, Krishna. So don't try to judge the activities of devotees or activities the pastimes of Krishna. He knows very well how to do treatment. Hmm. Therefore, we have to focus on our own sadhana, on our own practice. And remember this verse, Tatyanukampa Suspikshamano. Whatever coming on my way is just the sweet desire of Krishna, for which I have no say. I can't disrupt any of his activities. I can't. I'm not that powerful enough to snatch everything from, if he's snatching from my hands. As Srila Prabhupada used to say, Srila Swami Maharaj, if Krishna wants to give to you with his big arms or big hands, how much can you collect with your tiny hands? And if Krishna wants to snatch something from your hands, how much can you fight with? You have no choice. No choice. Just surrender to the circumstance and take those circumstances positive, favorable to bhakti. And some devotees pray, why? I'm entangled with so many people around me. Krishna, please do something. I just want to be alone, myself and you. Bas, no one else. And then something happens. Ah, and the person is just alone with Krishna. Bharat Maharaj renounced his worldly ah, duties, everything for the sake of Krishna, was in love with Krishna. And what Krishna gave in result? What happened to him? He got attached to one deer. And remembering deer, he became deer. But then, as he became deer, he's not jumping around with other deer. Ah, he's not looking for green grass to eat. Whatever he's getting, he's eating and satisfying his life. Uh, uh, and then he became Jad Bharat, totally avadut, like a madman, but fully intelligent. Uh, no one is there to speak with him. No one likes him. He's just by himself. So there are so many examples like that. So we are no one to judge someone's life or circumstances. It's all Krishna desires. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So